Let's get you ready for the next XRP liquidation event. I think it's going to be an important one because it probably brings in the final lows for this bear market. We've already teased and flirted with going below $1 a few times now. We've gone down to 99 cents, but I don't think that is it. I'm going to show you the data and the reasoning for why I think that the next XRP liquidation event brings in the final lows for this bear market before we get back into a bull run and making a lot of money. So if you want to get tapped in with us, make sure you have subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we're going to keep you guys up to speed. Jim Rickards, one of my favorites. This is so important, guys. I encourage people to do the same thing with XRP or any other digital asset, any other stock. Don't just throw out a number. Let's provide facts, analysis, and an explanation of the market dynamics that lead to a $10,000 gold, to a $200 silver. And I just watched this interview yesterday. It's only about 20 minutes long, but you guys should check it out. Jim Rickards on X. But I like what Jim has done for years is he's actually provided the justification. And, he's gotten a lot of calls wrong too. If you could look through any of these guys or gals that have been calling markets for any amount of time, they're going to have wrong calls. And what's important, though, to understand is, does one wrong call mean that the thesis overall is wrong or that it won't eventually play out? That's not the case, right? Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, right? And the same thing took place already when people said, "Oh, the calls for $5,000 gold are crazy, $120 silver, insane," until it happened, and now folks start to panic. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Well, we don't want to be panicked. We also don't want to be too early, and you don't want to over leverage. So, gold very well probably is on its way to $10,000 per ounce. Silver, 200, XRP, throw in your big number. We're probably heading there, but you can't get over leveraged in the meantime. And you really need to understand why we're going there so that you don't get shaken out in the meantime by the manipulation, the suppression, and the bear markets like the one that we're going through right now. Now, for those of you guys that are looking to get access to precious metals, my sponsor, iTrust Capital, does have you covered. They have markets on gold, platinum, and silver. And then I also wanted to let you guys know, if you go to the markets tab here, at the bottom, you'll see stocks. And so they just added 10,000 stocks and ETFs that are now available on iTrust Capital as well. So this is the one account for everything, right? You got your cryptocurrency. They got the IRA product for retirement funds. If you want to invest your retirement funds in crypto, that was the original reason why I partnered up with iTrust Capital. And then they stack on precious metals. And now they got stocks and ETFs. It's all free institutional grade custody. You're not going to pay a dime in AUM fees with US-based customer support. And so that's why we love working with them for the crypto. Now they got the metals and the stocks. Check them out, linked up down below. Get that $100 funding bonus. Now, they've tried to say that crypto's dead countless times, more times than we can count. And this timeline and chart shows you everything that we've been through, from Mt. Gox in 2014 to Bitfinex, all the way to in 2017's bull run when Jamie Dimon was saying that Bitcoin is a hyped up fraud. Larry Fink, founder, CEO of BlackRock, index of money laundering is what Bitcoin is. 9 Bitcoin ETF applications rejected in 2018, and then the crackdown on ICOs into 2018 into 2019. In 2020, we get the big Ripple lawsuit. Boy, was that a buying opportunity on XRP. Oh, yeah. And then we had Terra Luna blow up in 2022 with Celsius, Three Arrows Capital, that hedge fund. And then FTX finished off the bear market. 2022 lows came in November when FTX blew up. In 2023, we weren't done. Silicon Valley Bank blew up, which impacted crypto, prolonged that bear market, and also scared the ever-living you-know-what out of the rest of the banking sector, too. And much of the issues from that time haven't been resolved. But as far as crypto goes, we're still here, still chugging along. And we've been making the point that this is a healthy cleanse and purge. We don't need 10 million different cryptos. I would argue we don't even need 10. In fact, when I look at what should I invest in, I find a handful, like a few projects here that I think are actually worth considerable investment because they're actually getting institutional adoption, have utility, solve real use case. There's a bunch of other cryptos that get the job done. Hypothetically, they could be a part of the new financial system, but they have no institutional adoption. And there's only a handful, like I said, that really check off all the boxes for me. And it's so easy to compare to XRP and Ripple because in both regard, they set the standard. For example, I'm looking at the XRP ETFs and they just continue to stack. Franklin XRP Trust just revealed a major jump in its XRP holdings. As of June 30th, the end of Q2, 225 million XRP held, and the holdings, they actually rose from 159 million in Q1, and they added 65 million XRP with now 20 million shares outstanding. So they added, almost grew by 50%. I mean, it's pretty substantial. Grew by about a third, a little bit more than that, actually. So pretty impressive jump here. And once again, that's just one data point, but we stack it all up, right? We're not seeing big outflows out of the XRP ETFs, and you have to understand this. This is how retail market participants get completely fooled, because all retail is seeing is doom and gloom. This is the end of crypto. Crypto's dead. XRP's dead. XRP's back below $1. That's it. Meanwhile, institutions, smart money, people like us, fundamental investors, we have not stopped buying. We are loading up. And in fact, we love these moments. I don't know about you guys, but I love these moments. More hate in the comments, more smashing the thumb down, more Zach sucks. Love it, love it, love it, because it allows me to get my buy orders in. Let that fear compound. Let that doom and gloom sell. That's what the algorithm wants. Feed it. I don't feed it, but let all these other guys feed it with their clickbait. And they want to flip to doom and gloom content after we've already made the 70% drawdown, the 80% drawdown, right? That's when you buy. History tells us every time XRP has done this 70%, 80%, 90% drawdown during these bear markets, it is the time to buy. Because then we go print 10 baggers, 16x in the 2021 cycle. We've done it 3 times now. So maybe that's not enough data for you, but for me, it's enough to say, hey, we're probably here at an opportunity. Is it going to be another 10 bagger? Probably. But even just catching this thing now and riding it back up a few multiples is not a bad move, right? And so I love the hate. I love that it's not sexy. I love that we're smashing the thumbs down and putting Zach sucks in the comments. Love it. Love it. Love this moment. I just basking in this moment of bearishness, doom and gloom. And what's the number that I'm paying attention to the most? The number of XRP in my wallet or various wallets, because I have a few. That number just keeps increasing. And it's only going to increase more as I prepare for the next XRP liquidation event, which is what I want to talk about next with you guys. This is what we're looking at. XRP longs right now are overcrowded again. This is according to Chart Nerd. Nearly 2.16 billion long positions have been added in the last few weeks. The $1 price for is a psychological battleground, spot selling versus the long futures. Something is going to happen sooner rather than later. So what's happening is now the traders are starting to arrive. See, this is the trade that was hated. Nobody wants to be here. We had very low open interest. Nobody was taking a bet. Now the bets are starting to form up. People are starting to go long again. Now, eventually, we're going to run out of sellers in the spot market. Eventually, everybody that wants to get out of XRP is going to have gotten out. And I believe that this is the setup for the next and quite possibly the final liquidation event that pulls us under $1 before we go back into this bull run, before we are done going under $1. We've flirted a few days now where we've gone under $1 and hit 99 cents. And so obviously there's a huge wall of passive buyers waiting to come in. But why am I talking about the next XRP liquidation event? What am I getting at? What I'm watching for now, $1 is the psychological level that makes XRP go viral again. XRP goes viral at $2 and $3, and everybody's freaking out, calling it to be a top. That's the end. There's no way it can go higher. And then it gets everybody's attention when it comes back down to $1, because then you have everybody freaking out. Oh my gosh, this is the end. But then you have everybody else like me and you guys getting excited again about buying XRP. See, I hadn't bought XRP in a couple years, at least not spot. I'd been trading in the futures, but I'm back to buying spot XRP and stuffing it in my wallets. It's the $1 price that activates everybody again. and it activated the traders here again. And you know what happens? When the traders pile in one way, the market makers are setting you up to rip it back the other way. So if we have all these long positions building up, what is that telling me? It's telling me that the market makers are letting that confidence creep back in. Because I go to the mind of the market makers, right? You got to weigh the mind of the market makers versus the average retail participant trader that's trying to play around here. And you have to understand, what's the main objective? To liquidate Trader Bro for as much as possible. Well, now Trader Bro's getting confident again. They're going long XRP again. I've been long XRP for a while. I still am long XRP. So I'm part of this, but I've been long XRP, right? And I've been holding this long. I've been bleeding, just bleeding. Haven't been liquidated yet, though. Here's what I think happens next. This chart nerd post right here. Somebody wanted the difference between the open interest and the longs because there's two different numbers. The 2.16 billion in XRP long positioning is pretty much referring to cumulative volume on longs that have been opened over the last 3 weeks, while the sub $900 million open interest is current outstanding positions that are not yet settled in derivatives. So what he was showing is that over the past couple weeks, or the last 3 weeks, we've had about 2 billion in volume in XRP longs. Okay, but right now, the current tally is we have about 900 million in open interest, which is people going long or short. Open interest just means the total amount of futures trading, the total amount of bets that are on the table right now. Okay. And so this is what I'm warning about for the next liquidation event. I think that the market makers, they're letting us get confident again. Yeah, you think you're smart buying at $1? You think you're smart getting your order in there at 99 cents? Yeah, keep piling in right before they rip it out from us one last time. And I'm not calling for 50 cents. 70 cents is the depths that I see this thing going to, but I think that our bottom comes at 90 cents. It's about 88 to 90 cents. All eyes on that level. All of the orders are stacked up between $1 and 88 cents, my orders included. And so I think that we find a bottom there. But I think this is the next liquidation event that I want you guys to be prepared for. They're letting a little bit of confidence creep back in. They're letting us get excited about buying XRP at $1 again. But then you really just completely decimate and capitulate everybody by giving them one last final gut punch. One last final gut punch. And that really kills us because psychologically, it's, okay, we're going below $1. And then immediately everybody jumps to 50 cents. That's the next stop on that in our little brains. Our little brains go from $1, and the next step's 50 cents. And I can tell you guys this from my own experience and mistakes because I thought the same thing in my little pea brain back in 2020 when XRP was at 10 cents. And I thought, okay, let me pull out my calculator, and with my few shekels, my XRP is going to go twice as far if I wait for 5-cent XRP. Punching in the little numbers. That little number never came. 5 cents never came. And I think that the people waiting for 50 cents, it's never going to come, and they're going to get left behind as well, too. So it goes from the final liquidation event where you take it down to 90 cents, 88 cents, wherever it goes. It may be 70 if they really are able to kill us. Then, after you've absolutely wiped out everybody, you flip it back bullish, the inflows come back in, and because there's such a thin order book, it's so easy for this market to get juiced back above $1 with a huge amount of strength and leave a lot of people behind. And I worry about the folks that are going to get left behind. I know that I'm not. I know that many of you guys are not because we've already been dollar cost averaging and we're not worried about buying at $1.10, $1.01, and then we're going to get some orders in here at 90 cents. That's why we've done that, is to dollar cost average, ladder our orders in, let this liquidation event play out, let this bear market conclude, and then we can flip bullish again. That's the setup that I see right now, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What is the next move for XRP? Is the bottom in? Do we get a final liquidation event down to 90, down to 70 cents? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and if you appreciate our content, please help us out by liking this video, hyping it, sharing it out far and wide. All of our community resources are available at zachrector.com, including our XRP family merch. If you want to get tapped in with our private community, all of our affiliates and our community resources are also linked up down below too. All of that supports the show, and we greatly appreciate your support. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. It's going to be a very, very busy week, so stay tuned for more. God bless.